In this episode, we will explore the sites where Jesus was baptized, tempted, and performed miracles. Every pilgrim dreams of visiting all the sites in the Holy Land, but this is not possible in one trip because of the number of holy sites and the distance between them. Another reason can be the crowd at each site. Of course, this depends on when you visit the Holy Land. If you visit the Holy Land during Christmas or Easter, you would be waiting in a queue for hours at each site you visit. The pilgrim may choose to skip a few sites due to fatigue. The baptism of Jesus marked the beginning of his ministry, and some would argue as the beginning of Christianity. Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. There are 3 baptism sites in the Holy Land. The first site is Bethany beyond the Jordan, also known as Al-Maktas, located in the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan. There is no water here now, as more than 90% of the river has been diverted for domestic use. But back in the day, we can imagine what it might have looked like. Several Christian denominations have built churches here. The most prominent one being the Greek Orthodox Church of St. John the Baptist. In the 7th century, the Muslim conquests of the area made it difficult for pilgrims to access the baptism site. Eventually, the commemoration of the baptism site moved to the west bank of the Jordan River. The Jordan River marks the border between Israel and Jordan. Let us go to the other side now, shall we? We are now on the Israeli side. This is Qasr al-Yahud. This modern site was opened in 2011. There is one more spot, Yardenit, located south of the Sea of Galilee. This spot was constructed during the 6-day war so that pilgrims could get baptized safely. Soon after his baptism, the Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness, where he fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. It was here the devil tempted Jesus. This is the Mount of Temptation or Jabal Karantel. The Monastery of Temptation is believed to be the traditional spot where Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. The top of this mountain marks the spot where Jesus was tempted. One of the first miracles of Jesus took place in Cana, where during a wedding, Jesus turned water to wine. The actual location is uncertain. There are 3 possible candidates, but the commemoration of this miracle is fixed at Kafr Cana, which is located 5 kilometers northeast of Nazareth. The Franciscans excavated beneath the present church and found an early place of worship. The dwellings dated back to the 1st century. In the crypt are replicas of the stone jars, similar to the one that held water that was turned to wine by Jesus. The Sea of Galilee, also known as the Sea of Tiberias, has been the setting for a lot of notable events from the Gospels. It was here Jesus asked the fishermen to cast their nets to get plenty of fish despite catching none the night before. 4 of the fishermen eventually became his first disciples. It was also here where Jesus walked on water. This freshwater sea is surrounded by hills. It is one of the lowest lying bodies of water on earth. It is 210 meters below the sea level. The Sea of Galilee is prone to sudden turbulence. Such storms often arrive in mid-afternoon as the heat in the valley sucks down the cool air. After an hour or so, the wind drops and the waves subside, and the sea is calm again. By the Sea of Galilee lies Capernaum, a well-preserved town where Jesus spent a considerable time. It was the home of the first disciples of Jesus, notably Peter. In this town, Jesus worshipped and taught in the synagogue. His teachings made a deep impression on the local people, as Jesus taught with authority. The synagogue is partly reconstructed and is believed to have been built over the foundations of the synagogue Jesus taught in. Here you can see the black basalt foundations of the synagogue Jesus knew. While at Capernaum, Jesus healed many people of illnesses or possessions by the devil. These include Peter's mother-in-law and the daughter of Jairus, the leader of the synagogue. Jesus pronounced a curse to the town along with Bethsaida and Chorazin because many of its inhabitants refused to believe in him. Sure enough, Capernaum did fall into ruin. It remained in ruin until the 5th century, when an octagonal church was constructed. The ruins of the octagonal church can be seen here. The modern Catholic Church was built in 1990 over what is traditionally believed to be the house of St. Peter, which means Jesus must have stayed right here. This site is also a site of a miracle, the one where Jesus heals a paralyzed man. Not far from Capernaum is the Church of the Beatitudes. The Mount of Beatitudes is believed to be where Jesus gave his famous discourse, the Sermon on the Mount. Although the exact site is unknown, pilgrims commemorate the event at the Church of the Beatitudes. The Church of the Beatitudes is an elegant octagonal building constructed in 1938. The 8 sides of the church represent the 8 Beatitudes. These are shown in Latin in the upper windows. The Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes at Thagba marks the spot where Jesus multiplied the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes to feed a mass of 5,000 people. The modern church stands on a site of a 4th century church. Beneath the altar is the rock on which it is believed that Jesus placed the loaves and the fish when he blessed them. On the other side of the Jordan River, in what is today the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, lies the ruins of Gadara, or as it is better known today as Qais. When Romans were in control of this area, Gadara was part of the Decapolis, 10 cities that shared culture, language, and economic ties, but functioned as autonomous city-states. Jesus is said to have preached and performed miracles here. In one instance, Jesus exorcises a demon out of a man and into a herd of swine. The swine then run down a hill and drown themselves in a lake. The man then went home in the Decapolis to tell everyone what happened. Two of the Gospels call the location of this miracle as the place or country of the Gerasenes, and one Gospel called it the country of the Gadarenes. In the Decapolis, we have two cities, Gadara and Gerasa. Given the proximity of Gadara to the Sea of Galilee, it is possible that Gadara is the location of this miracle. In the next episode, we will visit Jerusalem.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please let me know by hitting the like button and by dropping a line in the comments section. If you enjoy documentaries in general, do consider subscribing. Well, until my next video, stay safe and I'll see you soon.